Brooks is a 1,300-acre municipality on the southeast side of San Antonio. Originally Brooks Air Base, the municipality was transferred to the Brooks Development Authority in 2002 and became Brooks City Base, a mixed-use development that boasts great facilities, housing developments, and career opportunities for civilians and military members alike. What you may not know, however, is that Brooks is also a memorial to two San Antonio natives whose legacies live on in the aviation and military traditions of our city. This memorial base, along with others of its kind in San Antonio, such as Kelly, Randolph, and Lackland, all serve as a testament to San Antonio's importance to the history of military aviation and as a reminder of the sacrifices made in service to the state, country, and aeronautics. The story of Brooks begins with the story of Kelly Field, another important memorial airstrip. Kelly Field originally began construction and operation on May 7, 1917, in response to the growing necessity for aircraft training at the start of the First World War. The new airfield was named after George Kelly, the first service member in U.S. history to be killed while piloting an aircraft. Kelly had lost his life at the nearby Fort Sam Houston that was being used for early aircraft training and testing, and the Army Air Corps saw fit to honor his sacrifice in service of aviation. This established the pattern of naming air bases after airmen who had given the most. World War I saw many young Americans from all over volunteering for the fight, and San Antonio was no exception. Sidney Johnson Brooks Jr. was the son of a prominent San Antonio lawyer and judge who served in the 57th District Court, and the grandson of a Confederate soldier. His family lived in what would now be considered downtown San Antonio in the King William area. Sidney himself was born in San Antonio and appeared to live his whole life here. Not much appears to be known about Sidney's personal life before the war, except that he was a reporter for the San Antonio Light newspaper. Sidney volunteered for the Army shortly after the beginning of the war, and he spent several months training. On the morning of his final qualification flight, Brooks was administered a cholera vaccine that left him visibly unwell. Brooks, however, elected to attempt the qualification flight anyway, a round trip between Kelly Field and Hondo. When he approached the edge of the airfield, Brooks suddenly went into a full nosedive from 2,000 feet in the air and crashed, dying instantly. People familiar with the crash believe that Brooks likely went unconscious right before the landing, causing the fatal accident. Accidents like Brooks were instrumental in the development and understanding of medical procedures and fitness for flight, and Brooks was well honored after his death. A newly opened airfield on the southeast end of San Antonio, at the time of his death named Gosport Field, was renamed Brooks Field in his honor. As aircraft became more important to war efforts and the Air Force was established, Brooks Field became Brooks Air Force Base and was eventually then returned to the city of San Antonio as Brooks City Base. Now simply named Brooks, the city continues to honor Sidney Brooks's legacy with a memorial in its center. Next to this memorial plaza sits another memorial to a San Antonio native, the Edward H. White II Memorial Hangar, better known as Hangar 9. This hangar is a historic World War I era biplane hangar, the single oldest wooden hangar of its kind still standing in its original location. Hangar 9 serves as Brooks' public event space for weddings and gatherings. The hangar is named after Ed White, an extremely accomplished Air Force officer, test pilot, and astronaut. Ed was born on Fort Sam Houston here in San Antonio. Being the son of a major general, Ed was a second-generation West Point graduate and an aeronautical engineer. After an extensive Air Force career, Ed was chosen as part of NASA's Gemini 4 mission, where he became the first man to ever walk in space. Tragically, White was killed alongside two other early astronauts in the Apollo 1 test mission. White was found in a position suggesting that he was attempting to help his fellow astronauts until the very end. These two memorials, alongside Kelly Field and Randolph Air Force Base, showcase San Antonio's importance to the history of military aviation and the sacrifices that San Antonians themselves have made for the United States and for aeronautics. These memorials are a testament to the sacrifices of Texans in service of their country and in service of aviation.